Hi tribe, welcome back to my channel. This is Dr. J with the Therapy of Planning, and for those of you who are new, thank you so much for clicking that button to check this video out and to see what the Therapy of Planning is all about. Today I'm going to share with you an extra from my series on my 2024 planner and journal setups. I did a series 1 through 4 with 8 of my other planner and journals, and I wasn't going to bring you the last 2 because they're just pretty much notebooks that I use for one, finances, like just paying my bills, and the other, this one, is for research and brain dump, and I figured they're just plain notebooks. What's there to see? Okay, so the more I thought about it, even though I'm like most excited about my planners, and please forgive the glare. Let's see, I think if I pull it down, I'm a little bit out of frame at the bottom here, but at least it's not a glare. I am most excited, like I said, about my planners and my notebooks. And this is just like paper to me, just having paper to jot down different ideas that come to me as I am working on developing my brand and getting ready to start bringing you videos and podcasts for my business. I am researching, like, it wasn't even purposeful at first, just started like reading different things to help me develop my ideas about what I wanted to share with you. And I started watching different videos and getting into podcasts. And so there's just a lot of information that I want to take notes. So basically, this is building a second brain for me. I do hybrid with some digital things, and there's so many apps and different things out there. So kind of playing around with that and getting that lined up, and maybe when I get a system really going well in place, I'll bring that in another video. But for now, this analog girl has to have her pen and paper at all times. And so this notebook stays in my bedroom because that's where I am most of the time when I'm doing research. Actually, my desktop is in my room, and so I'll be at my desk watching video, or I watch videos on the TV. So I'll be sitting in bed in the morning. Like, the morning time is it for me. It's when I do my most deepest thinking, when I'm most together. So I'll flip on a video and I'll hear about an author that wrote a great book. I'll take notes on that. I'll go find the book. When I'm sitting in bed reading a book, I want to be able to take notes. So this journal or notebook, stays with me there in my room. And I didn't quite have it down like a setup for it because I was just throwing things in there at random, and of course started to realize, like, I need like sections. I need this to be a little bit more organized, because the whole point of having a second brain is to be able to come back to your notes and find the information. So I start here, and then when I get a little bit of development going, then I'll move over into my digital. But for now, this is what I want to be able to grab, and I need to have some organization. Then I also kind of wanted to include in here a tracking system of time that I was spending working on my 5 to 9. That's what I call my business, my 5 to 9 right now, until the time comes that I can switch it to my 9 to 5. I have another 9 to 5 that, is doing its due diligence, paying the bills and doing all that it does. But the 5 to 9 is what I'm working to develop. And so every day, the goal is to include in my routine an hour to 2 hours of working on my 5 to 9. So I like to include in here tracking for that, because many times it's going to include this notebook, what I'm doing in the 5 to 9 time slot, like doing some research, reading, and just thinking of different ideas will be things that I do in that time. So I came to you, or I tried to record this earlier. I was tired and it just wasn't coming out the way I wanted. So I put everything together at this point, and now I'm just kind of gonna flip through. Okay, so as I was putting things together, I discovered different things that I added. So I had this from Jane's Agenda, and didn't exactly have a need for it, but I've learned like to stash things away because you never know. Like, instead of forcing it, I just save it, and then suddenly something comes up where I can use that item. So I put it here so that I can keep a pen. Now I do have a little tray with pens in my room, but I like that I can put one right here with this book. And so this worked out. I have a little collection of Villa Beautiful pens, and I put that here in the clip, and I'm using the clip to hold on this, which I found in my stash, and it just said, boom, hit me in the face. Okay, the key to success is to start before you're ready, because as I am working on my 5 to 9, there's so many things. I'm like, oh, I don't really know how to do this. I'm not really sure. Like, I have an idea of what I want to do, like with the podcast. So I'm kind of researching and trying, and I'm thinking, should I get this mic? Should I do that? And I don't want to spend too much money. And, you know, how am I going to go about this? And so it just keeps coming. Just start, just start. Just as Think Media says, hit record, right? So I'm working to bring that and get that together. So I'm thinking of my scripting and like what I'm going to be saying and talking about. And so there's a section in here for that. So this, what started out as the Flora, I think is the name of the notebook, and there's a sticker book from Happy Planner. It started out as that notebook, so just this, and it came with some dividers and some paper, which I don't think I have any of it in here. Hold on. Okay, so yeah, it came with this paper with that down the side. So I love this. I love these florals. I love this cover. I think it's beautiful. I had these rose-colored metal discs from Happy Planner, and I just love the way this all comes together. So I wanted to use it. I took those papers out now because I want to save them for something. I don't know. I just didn't feel like I needed to use them in this particular book. But now I love what this is talking about, find happiness in the journey, because that's something that Optimal State of Being, my business as a life coach, I'm certified mental health provider and life coach, and so I aspire to help people find happiness in the journey. So that worked in perfectly. Then also, this came in conjunction with the fact that I am trying to go through my stash, organize, declutter, and I've made some changes. Luckily for me, I have this space that I'm able to use. I call it my planner studio because I come in here and do my planning, my notebook and my journals and my planners. I do the setup in here. I do recording in here and watch videos in here. And so I'm just trying to embrace it as that. Like, it kind of morphed into that, like, unintentionally. So now I'm trying to embrace it as that and set it up accordingly, so I also can record my podcast in here as well. So working really though to get through all that I have, because as I've said many times, I have a lot of stuff, things that I've bought, things that I've gotten. Like, last year was a big year for planner conferences for me because it was new, and I fell down a rabbit hole and went to 3 different planner conferences before I knew it. I went to 3 and I still had stuff not unpacked from the first one at the end of the year. So I have lots of things, and I wanted to go through and also acknowledge that there's things that I'm not going to use. And so I'm building a de-stash box, because I do have one conference that I'm going to go to this year. I am refraining from trying to go to others because, man, I spent some funds doing that. I enjoyed it. I loved it. I'm thankful to God that I was able to do it. But this year is going to be a little different. I'm going to spend the year focusing on my 3 goals, and one is getting finances in order, another is decluttering, and the third is building my business. So as I am decluttering, I decided to go through all the big notebooks or planners that I had set up, things that got kind of started to use and got kind of cast aside. And so I went through them yesterday, and I was able to find dashboard planners, because I really love those dashboard planners that I had started and not used, and some that I did use. So I took all the pages that were used and I threw those away. And then I ended up with, I'm looking around trying to see where I stuck them. I ended up with a stash that I can use because it's so easy to remember. Hold on for a second.